The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Thank you, Tally Olson. We are back. Mets baseball in the zone. I'm Ralph Tycho. We are all here. Marty Rose.
Yes. Howdy. How's everybody?
And Brother Byrne.
Good evening, baseball fans.
A perfect Vince Scully.
There you go.
All right. And it completes it. The Dodger fans are all here. Marty was a Dodger fan before becoming a Met fan. I'm the only Giant fan in the house. Robert Cole, how are you?
Doing good.
Good. Kind of a sad note today. Joe Pignatano passed away. And I just want to ask all you lifetime Met fans or Met sympathizers, in Bernie's case, if they would share some Joe Pignatano memories. Start with you, Robert.
Probably have
Start
that.
with you, Robert.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Pignatano was a longtime Met coach, but let's go back to when he first started in baseball. He was with the Brooklyn Dodgers. An interesting thing was he came up for the first time in 1957 and appeared as a pinch runner, and then he appeared in his first game on June 6th, 1957, as a catcher. And ironically, Vince Scully was doing the broadcast, and there's a tape that's available of that game. And Roy Campanella got injured. Rube Walker had some stitches in his hand, and so Pignatano was going to get called on unexpectedly to catch. And Vince Scully said, and Pignatano was from Brooklyn and was from the Brooklyn neighborhood, and Vince Scully says over the air, maybe somebody who knows the Pignatanos can run over and get hold of Mrs. Pignatano and let her know that Joe's about to get into the game. Would that ever happen today? You know?
It wouldn't have happened in any other city at any time, including today, if it weren't Brooklyn. That is a great story, signifies what that borough is about, and that was beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay.
Let me go next. It was sometime in May. The Mets were playing a doubleheader. I went down to the park to try to round up Mert and a few other people to go to the game. No one was around. I had some bucks, went myself. First time I ever went to a game by myself. And it turned out to be the game where Lou Brock hit a home run into the bleachers, and in the second game, Marv Throneberry missed both bases on his way to a triple. So that was it was against the Cubs, and that game stands out for one reason, more than any other game I've been to. Got there really early and got great seats, sitting behind third base, and batting practice comes, and I'm leaning over the rail. I find myself leaning over the rail, not to throw up, ironically, because it was the Mets, but to catch a ground ball hit in batting practice, foul, a little scribbler, hit by Joe Pignatano.
There you go.
And that is and Marty has heard this story 1,000 times. I caught the ball, turn around, there's an usher, and he says, there's a kid in a wheelchair. I don't know if I could trade this. If you give me the ball to give to the kid, I'll try to get you a bat. I went, whoa. Instantaneously, I figured I may get another chance to catch a ball, but getting a bat, that would be unbelievable. So, lo and behold, a few minutes later, the usher comes back with a broken Kenny Hubbs bat.
I remember that,
Ralph. Okay.
I remember that.
And you may remember because whose house, when I went into the Air Force, I knew my mother would throw out a broken bat.
Sure.
So what I did was I gave the bat to Marty to store in his house, and sure enough, Ruth throws out the bat.
and all my baseball cards.
As well.
Some of them were mine too, you know.
That's true. That's true.
Well, you know, I knew that I couldn't be mad at your mom,
Right.
but if my mom did that, I'd have thrown her through the whip. But all these years later, we have something to talk about on a Met show. Rest in peace, Joe Pignatano.
That's funny. You know what I remember about him, Ralph? When he was the bullpen coach for the Mets.
He had a garden.
He grew tomatoes in the bullpen.
Yes. Yes.
Now I remember that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And there's his nephew or grandnephew, a guy by the name of Pignatano, is my Facebook friend. And I tried a number of times. You know, he's got up there in age recently. I tried to connect with his uncle or whatever. Never happened. And sorry I didn't get the voice on Comfortably Zoned, but I'll bet it had a Brooklyn accent.
Well, the problem too, Ralph, is the last couple of years he was fighting dementia.
You talking about me or him?
All of us. But
well, yours is self-induced. I don't know that his was.
No. But you don't know that it wasn't.
No, that's true.
All right.
That's true.
Now, another couple of interesting things about Joe Pignatano. As a Brooklyn Dodger, he was the last catcher to catch a pitch in Ebbets Field. Okay.
Wow.
He finished the last game at Ebbets Field. Okay.
Yeah.
As a Met, in his last at bat, okay, he hit into a triple play.
Wow. Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you know, and just looking over a couple of things here, I first of all, I wouldn't have even remembered, you know, that he was on the 62 Mets, or that he was the backup to Johnny Roseboro after, you know, Campy got paralyzed in the car accident, tragically. Roseboro became the starter, and Pignatano became the backup.
Correct.
In 58 and 59, and he was even a third string catcher in 1960 on the Dodgers as well.
He played like 50 to 60 something games all those years.
Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to recognize that Walter O'Malley did good by Campy. Campy never played in L.A., yet O'Malley brought him out, gave him a night where X number of people. It was like 70,000 people.
It was more than that. Yeah. I think it was like 90,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 95,000.
In the Coliseum. Yeah.
Wow. And it was against the Yankees. Okay. He made a special arrangement to have the Yankees come in. And it was the Yankees and Dodgers, 95,000 people. Pee Wee Reese wheeled him out in a wheelchair. And it was they turned all the lights off in the Coliseum, and all the fans lit lighters and matches.
Yeah. Wow.
Whenever I think of O'Malley, at least there was one thing redeeming about the bastard.
Well, it's nice that he had one thing at least, you know.
Well, who'd have figured that?
Yeah.
Anyway, rest in peace, Joe. Lived a long time.
Just one last story about
Sure.
Pignatano, okay? And it has to do with Casey Stengel, okay? It has to be a Casey Stengel story here. And Casey, for some reason, could never either pronounce or remember Pignatano's name, and he always called him Canzoneri. And there was also a catcher on the team by the name of Canizero, okay? And Casey used to confuse the heck out of him when he would say, Canzoneri, grab a bat and go hit. And they didn't know whether he was talking about Pignatano or Canizero.
Well, here's a couple of little notes. In the 1959 playoffs, you know, the Dodgers and the Braves ended up tied, and he ended up, you know, actually knocking in or being involved in the winning run. And you know, you don't hear much about anything that much of his career, but that was a big thing, you know, and it was the pennant winning run and an infield hit, and then an error also by the Braves. You might remember the name Felix Mantilla, that winning run score.
Right.
And then just reading on, he is, as Robert just brought up before, but he's the only major league player to have ended his career by hitting into a triple play. Because it was September 30th. You know, it's the last game of the season, or maybe there's a couple of more games, who knows? But he didn't play again, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, good memories, guys. I'm sad, but like I say, he lived into his 90s, and and peace at last. What can I say?
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about the enigmatic training staff of the Mets. This has gone on for 5 years now, with us covering year after year. I would like to know why there are so many oblique injuries. Are pitchers just throwing outside of themselves? In other words, just trying for speed and nothing else. Scherzer's the latest, and they've got to hang in there until they get DeGrom and Scherzer back now. Mert said something the other day that if they get them both back in July, the Mets are going to kick ass. They're going to, if they could hang in there till July.
Well, they have a nice lead now, so.
Well, they're hanging in there. That's for sure.
So.
Right.
Let's address the one thing that they've done. They haven't lost 2 games in a row since the 4th and 5th game of the season, and now it's getting close to June. That's pretty good.
Right.
They've done something that hasn't been done in a decade. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, they've come back from a loss 14 straight times.
Mm-hmm.
And it hasn't been done since 2011.
Wow.
Well,
I mean, they're resilient. They are.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The problem right now is that the bullpen is on fumes. And there's no denying that. They're going to have to do a lot of shuffling like they've been doing between Syracuse and the Mets, just to try to keep some fresh arms in the bullpen. Now, hopefully Tyler McGill comes back fairly soon, and I think he's supposed to start a rehab assignment the end of this week, the beginning of next week. So hopefully something works out there.
Peterson going tonight, and he's shown that he can do the job, but on a regular basis, who knows?
Yeah, well, it's his turn. I mean, he needs to start showing things.
Yeah.
And also Thomas Zapucki will be getting a shot as well. He had some surgery last year, and supposedly he's 100% now. So.
Oh, that's good. I heard a rumor on Facebook that they're looking at Cologne, Bartolo.
No.
Yeah, great.
It's probably still pitching. He's probably still pitching in Mexico.
Terry Collins said, okay, he could step on the mound right now and give you 5 innings.
And probably hit a home run too.
That's funny.
Another guy they snuck in to Syracuse is Trevor Cahill, and I know you know him, Ralph, when you with the A's.
But he's one of those guys. He's an enigma when he's healthy. He's terrific, and this guy has had a lot of injuries.
But didn't cost anything. He's under a minor league contract. They're trying to stretch him out now. You see what he's got. It's a cost-friendly contract. So see what happens.
Right. May I just say that McNeil is one terrific ball player on so many levels. He is versatile. He plays hard on every play, and I really like him. That's sure.
And Guillermo's, where do they put him? He's playing great.
Right?
Yeah.
Great stop at third the other day. End the game.
And Guillermo's in 320.
Yeah. He's incredible, really. That's one thing about Showalter, guys doing well, he's playing, that's it.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if he's known to be a bench guy or not. If he's doing well, he's playing.
Yeah, Showalter's doing a really good job of getting playing time for everybody. And, and the key to that was Cano. Once Cano was taken out of the equation, now he's able to get everybody in there. So
I believe it's his birthday today, too, 66.
Oh. Yes. I was thinking Cano, but...
Buck Showalter.
Buck Showalter. Oh, wow. Back from technical difficulties. First part was saved, and we're going to pick it up from where we did. I had an idea of something I wanted to mention. There were 4 or 5 Brooklyn Dodgers on that 1962 original Mets.
Sure.
Can we all name them? Let's start with Piggy and Marty.
Well, Don Zimmer for one.
Right, exactly.
Wasn't Charlie Neal on that team?
Yes.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Not Billy Lowe's, but
Roger Craig.
Roger Craig, right.
Ken Levine was briefly.
Yes. Joe Ginsberg was briefly, too.
But he was not a Brooklyn Dodger.
Oh, I didn't. He was a Dodger at one time.
No.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But those are the guys. I remember.
Of course, the one we're forgetting is Gil Hodges.
Right.
Yes.
I was going to mention him. I was leaving him for you guys, but
I was thrilled the other day when we honored Ron Rabinovich to have Irene Hodges, his daughter, and we got some good airtime with her, and she's quick as a button. I'm an old New York Giant fan, and Hal Bach is a New York Giant fan, and they got into it a little bit about how much the Dodgers hated the Giants. I mean, really hated. And
yes.
she told the story of Halloween came. They didn't even celebrate Halloween because of the black and orange.
right.
So that was cool. Ronnie is missed on this network in so many ways. He's that is a terrible tragedy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, but we go on, and let's talk Mets a little bit more. Anybody have anything to say about the situation that we're in, good, bad, or indifferent? Robert?
Kind of have to go with the flow. Got to enjoy what we're seeing right now. And, I know in the back of all of our minds is what has happened the last couple of years, especially last year, when this time of the year we were kind of getting a little giddy and ahead of ourselves and, saw the bottom fall out. So, this year I'm taking it with a little less giddiness, shall I say.
Right. Bernie, your thoughts?
Well, the pitchers have to come back. In the long season, you're going to need those guys. I would think if they don't, or if they come back and they don't pitch up to snuff, it could be problematic. But I feel like Alonso. I mean, these guys are growing up now. It's not the first year, second year. These guys are major leaguers now, and this guy's for real, and he can carry.
And they added Marte and Cano.
All these guys that they brought in are solid players.
Yes.
With history, like you just said, Marte, Cana, Escobar. Even look what you're getting out of this Mazika. He's been here for like a couple of games. He's had a couple of big hits.
Yeah,
He even played, had a a home run and a double already in key situations. I mean, unbelievable.
And that's a good fill-in. Losing the number one catcher is significant. We haven't mentioned him. How about the pitcher from the A's has been solid too?
Yeah, Chris Bassett. Yeah, he's going tonight.
And they're talking about renewing him, extending him, which is a good idea.
I thought Peterson was going tonight. Did they change that?
I'm sorry. Wait a second. I just looked
Peterson's
at it.
going tonight. Bassett's going tomorrow.
Bassett is tomorrow. Okay. Yes, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a good game. You got Webb against Bassett tomorrow. That's a good game. I mean, it's always good, but tonight's a good game. But the pitching matchup tomorrow is excellent.
Yeah. Hey, Bernie, you're a Dodger fan, primarily. Give us a little update on the Dodgers. What's happening?
Well,
I will
tell you.
Bernie, I'd like to ask you what happened yesterday. When you guys had a chance to help us out by beating the Phillies.
Muncy couldn't catch a ground ball. That's what happened. It would have been the game over, 8-game winning streak. But the ball took a little hop. But I got to tell you, it looked very Buckner-esque to me. I mean, he looked ridiculous. And then he tried to recover and pick the ball up and at least get the second guy out at the plate from scoring, but he was just too late. They should have won that game. But you know what? Yeah. The game wasn't lost there. And even though they still, by percentage points in a half a game, have the best record in the National League, they have these bouts of not hitting with runners in scoring position, and I'm amazed their record is what it is, to be honest with you. But especially since Kershaw went down and they lost those 3 games when they moved Buehler and Urias up. They should never do that. Those guys have proven they can't pitch on 3 days rest, but they did it, and they ended up losing 3 games in a row. But the reason they lost yesterday is they went 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They had bases loaded in that when they just took the 3-2 lead in the 10th and with only 1 out, and they couldn't score another run. And Muncy and JT were 0 for 9 with left 9 runners on the bases, just the 2 of them. They should have scored a lot more than what they did, and they threw the game away. So sorry.
Yes.
I love revving his motor.
Yeah, right. But believe it or not, it's 9-0 over the Nationals tonight. Although the Nationals are no threat in that division, they just scored 3 more. And dig this, Tyler Anderson, 15 up and 15 down so far.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And he's only thrown something like 50 pitches. So he's got a perfect game through 5.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to last. I mean,
no.
even if he doesn't give any base runners up, he'll be out of there.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't let Kershaw do it, but I mean, I know that was early in the season and so on. But he's only thrown exactly 50 pitches, 39 for strikes. And I'm not really watching. I just have it on the game day here as we talk. They just scored 3 more to make it 9-0. So,
Well, you mentioned something, the expression Buckner-esque. I'm going to ask all 3 of you guys. If Buckner fields that ball cleanly, does Mookie beat it out? We might have talked about this before.
Mookie says yes.
Yeah, I think Robert said he would have.
Yeah,
well,
Mookie says yes.
That's
it's hard to imagine, though, that he would have, but, it's so long ago, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to put that on Billy. He was a great player. I mean, he wasn't a Hall of Fame player, but he was a great player. And that one play really shouldn't define his career.
No, well, Well, he had that bad back and he couldn't bend over, right? So.
Yeah, at that,
Well, it was the
at that
manager's
point,
fault. He was supposed
yeah,
to be
at
out
that
of
point
there.
of the game, at that point of the game, he should not have been in there.
Exactly. And
They
that's what
had
they did all season.
Stapleton. They had Pat Stapleton as a reserve, and if he fields it cleanly, he beats Mookie to the base. But
Well, he was
can't
playing
look
behind.
back.
He was playing behind the bag though, several steps. So he
Mhm.
still had.
Yeah, that's
still
true.
had to run to the bag, even
That
if
is
he played
true.
cleanly. Yeah.
And Mookie had the Jets, yeah.
Close. Yep.
Yeah.
But
Hey, there's
unfortunately-
another guy, rest in peace. He died very young, Buckner.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you hate to see it, but nobody
Yeah.
knows what's in store.
that's for sure. Hey, guys, a two-parter tonight. We got it together, and thank you for your cooperation. The technical gods can stick it in their ear. It is. I love doing this. I love podcasting, but there are frustrations every now and again, and tonight was one of them. All of a sudden, the system fails. All four of us are gone. Couldn't dial back. Craziness. Hey guys, thank you again. Rest in peace, Joe Pignatano.
Yes.
And we will pick it up next week or the week after. And let's hope for some health, not just for the Mets, for all of us. That much more important than the Mets.
I hear that.
Next Monday's Memorial Day, so we can skip that, I guess.
Let's plan on skipping it for that reason.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty.
2 weeks
Okay,
from tonight. Thank you for showing, Barn. Mert,
My pleasure.
what can I say? Robert Cole were the three of us have done this for a while. Bernie, you add icing on the cake.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. If your practice is generally on Mondays, we can make a different day available.
Oh, that'd be great. Well, it used to be Tuesdays, but now something has changed it to Mondays. I'm trying to not make them every week. So I'll get in touch with you. I don't know what's going to happen next week. It's Memorial Day. I know he wants to have one, but we'll see. But I'll let you know if we can change it to Tuesdays. Then that would be perfect. If I can't do Mondays.
If you can't do Mondays, we'll change it to Tuesdays. That's
fabulous.
Beautiful. Got to get the Jackson Heights representation.
Absolutely.
One podcast, 3 Heightsmen at the same time. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right. Love you guys. Be well. Thank you for listening, everybody. Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I'm Ralph Tycho, Marty Rose, Bernie Rose, and Robert Cole. Adios, everybody, and happy trails.
Good night,
Thanks
guys.
for listening, everybody.
Good night.
The proceeding has been a Comfortably Zoned Network production. You are advised to keep your dreams wet, your humor dry, your children and grandchildren out of military recruiting offices and off the laps of clerics who wear dresses. Thank you for listening, everyone. Happy trails.